Previously on Balls.
Hello, Plum.
Oh, hey, mate.
Hey, how's it going?
All right, eh? Not too bad.
That's good. Welcome to Balls Radio. I think for the first time, I mean, we've spoken to Plum. Well, not the first time Plum's featured on Balls Radio, but in a different guise. But nice to have the real John Plumtree with us. And welcome home, boss. Yeah, you know what we're talking about.
He's not there, is he, that guy? He's not there, is he?
Oh, he's right. Yeah, Plum, how you going, mate?
No more of that, okay?
No.
Yeah, good on you, Plum.
Phone me back later, but...
Plum, you still there? Hello?
I'm here.
Okay,
I'm teasing you.
Thanks, John. Listen, welcome home and commiserations. I mean, geez, what a campaign you guys had. I think last time we actually saw you in Durban, it was guys had to win at least your next two games to have a chance of being in the competition, and you did everything that you said you needed to do. Just that one bridge too far.
Yeah, no, it was, Darren. I mean, I was really proud of the boys. I mean, like you say, we were playing knockout rugby probably 6 or 7 weeks ago, and the way they responded to that pressure was outstanding. It's a tough competition, and having to obviously travel that quarterfinal and then come back for a semi back over the final just too much. So we talk about how possibly we could change this, how possibly Sansa might change that format, but wait and see.
Yeah. I mean, would you like to see an extra week for the final? The argument made yesterday was by somebody was that finishing top of the log, you should have the advantage. But I mean, clearly finishing top of the log, the home ground is an advantage anyway. How much of an advantage do you want? It's like going into a bunker and then having a plugged lie and having water in front of you as well. It's almost like a triple disadvantage for you guys.
Yeah, well, maybe they can look at if a quarter-final, a wildcard side qualifies for a final, that it's a reward for the wildcard side by having a week off. I mean, there could be, I mean, obviously we were really fired up about trying to win that final, but clearly it was just too much for us. So whether a side can do that in the future, we'll have to wait and see. But to expect a side to travel across, the Tasman like that a couple of times to the Indian Ocean. I mean, to a couple of times like that to win a final might be too much. And actually, maybe it's for if you're not a Sharks fan or a Chiefs fan, you want to see a really tight and contested final. Maybe it's disrespects the competition.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it goes down to also how you start a competition, and I just can't help but thinking that Currie Cup starts this week, and again, you get off to a slow start. You're playing catch-up rugby. There's just no rest. I mean, there's just no time to take a breather and go, all right, this is how we can plan our season. I mean, if you guys decide you want to rest some of your players this weekend as you get into a big game in the Currie Cup, you could end up paying for it later on in the season. When is there any let-up time in this rugby calendar of ours?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, for us this weekend, I'm resting Anton Bressler and Charles McLeod. I mean, the guys that, they've had really big seasons, and I just feel if I don't give these guys a break, I'll pay for it later anyway. So, I think Mike Greenway summed it up beautifully the other day when he said, I think we're the first Currie Cup side to be jet-lagged in the start of a competition. That's right, yeah. But, it's still, the boys are excited about the Currie Cup. There's obviously we've got quite a few guys out with the Springboks and a few guys with injuries. So the guys that are playing are hungry and ready to go, and obviously they'll be keen to show me what they're capable of, and that's all good.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of the guys who've been on the fringes are obviously looking forward to getting some game time and a start as well.
Yeah, that's right. So we've got a few of those, some guys that have been lightly raced, and also we've got quite a few of the Vodacom players like Tirum Tembu. We look at Coast Prinsloo at the back there, Sabisi Satoli. There's a number of guys that sort of had an opportunity last year in Currie Cup, did really well, and then not much time when the box came back, and not a lot of time sort of on the fringe of the squad. So they become really important now, and they know they're important, and it's really up to them to take this opportunity, because in the past we've done all right in Currie Cup. We've made 3 finals in the last 4 years, and we've got a proud history in the Currie Cup of late, and we're keen to carry that on.
I'm sure obviously a lot of the chat was about how the guys were doing, how they were feeling with all the travel as well. Was it? Did you look at it when you saw the weather in Hamilton on game day as well? And go, geez, how much more can go against us? Because I mean, obviously, it's not ideal Sharks rugby conditions, but you had the rain as well.
Yeah, that's right. And I think the New Zealand forwards, they love that type of conditions, and they used to playing the ground low, playing the game low to the ground, and we've got a lot of guys that are high ball carriers, and we spoke about that. And in fairness to the Chiefs as well, they like playing in good conditions as well, because they're a pretty expensive side. So we couldn't use that as an excuse, unfortunately. But I guess the big thing for us is that we were really keen to do well, but we started pretty averagely, and we just couldn't really get into the game, and the Chiefs sort of got that score up, and we were chasing it in the second half, and ideally you don't want to be doing that in those conditions in a final.
Yeah. Were there any sightings done after the game? I mean, also at the end of the season, I know it does count for next year's Super Rugby, but Sunnybill's not there anyway. But the prop, the tackle on Ryan, was there a sighting done? I haven't checked.
Yeah, he got a yellow card, which is he got a week's suspension.
Is it?
But nothing happened in the game. I was a little bit disappointed with some of the off the ball stuff. I mean, I don't want to be a whinging losing coach, but a lot of the holding around the rucks of defenders, and a lot of the tactics they did at line-out time to stop our drive were totally illegal, and it was pretty frustrating. I think I was getting pretty frustrated in the coach's box. I wanted a massive punch up.
I can imagine. I mean, I cannot understand, and I mean, I know you probably are not allowed to say it, but I couldn't understand why, after warning them once, then I think they go and score a try, and afterwards Steve Walsh goes to the guy again and warns him a second time for holding around the fringes. How many times do you have to warn a player before you penalise him? And second of all, if he was doing it again in the midst of scoring a try, I mean, what the hell are you doing as the referee?
Yeah, well, I think the try that number 8 scored near the post, Keegan got held back, and it was clear, blatant, and I guess we'll have to have a look at that with the TMOs, having a role to play with tries that there's been illegal play. The referees missed it, and I think it's only fair, in a big game like that, for them to score a try at that time. So it's really probably put the game beyond doubt was. Pretty frustrating for the losing team, and when it was a try that should have been penalised.
Absolutely. Well, listen, you guys really played awesome rugby. I mean, coming into that run-up and in the playoffs as well. Don't even say a word, Hill, because you were going, because the Stormers got clapped, you were supporting the Chiefs. So you're not even allowed to speak to Plum.
Unless I speak to Plum as
No,
Plum.
you're not allowed to. But I think the nice thing about the attitude of the guys, and everyone was, everyone just obviously understood what you guys had to go through, but the nice thing about the attitude was, as I get a call from Jonathan Kaplan right now, and we'll try and chat to him and see what he has to say about that. But the nice thing about the attitude is that Yanni du Plessis sent an SMS afterwards going, "We won't lose again." So the guys are still up there, and their thoughts are still, listen, we're going to go and win this thing one more step, and we'll be back next year. So everyone seems very positive in the camp.
Oh, look, I'm really excited about the future of this team, Darren, more than ever. Look, all of a sudden we've got so much. We've got Fronty Stain back, and Paul Jadon, Tim Whitehead, exciting backs. Look at Lawazi, looks like he's going to have a big role to play in the test matches now, and JP's been outstanding, and Louis Luddick's played so nicely, and all the forwards are there. So we've got a really nice side, and it's probably the best balanced side that I've had for a couple of years now. So hopefully we'll get them all fit, and we'll have a really good year next year.
Well, speaking of JP Plum, he has his operation tomorrow, hey?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We wish him all the best for that as well, and as much as we're going to miss him in the Springbok setup, I think he's at such a big role to play. I think he deserves the break. And obviously a final point, Plum, you must be over the moon. New Zealand 3 medals, Australia 1 at the Olympics.
It's beautiful, isn't it? The Aussies are crying over there about their swimmers, and that was one of the positive things about going to Australia a couple of times this year, to listen to that.
Yeah, I can imagine. And you guys were in Aussie for most of the week as well. So listen, thank you for taking time out to chat to us, and again, thanks for entertaining us so well with some fabulous rugby at the end of the season. Then good luck for the Curry Cup.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
Yeah, later.
Cheers, Plum. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
There we go. John Plumtree joining us on Balls.
We the best on 3. 1, 2, 3. We the best.
2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Mondays to
Fridays live on balls.co.za. Balls.co.za.